So I went to a showing of The Matrix Resurrections recently and thought I'd hop on the mic to discuss it. This isn't going to be a video essay like I often do, but more of a loose, general discussion where I go through some notes I made about the film and my opinions on it. More of a standard review, really. So let's get into it, shall we? Okay, so let's start off with positives, or at least things that weren't negative. Firstly, it's good to have Neo and Trinity back. Keanu is good in the role and is a particularly likeable, enjoyable screen presence in this film. There's some decent development of technology used in the film's depiction of the real world, which includes things such as reverse engineering digital codes from the Matrix into DNA sequences to produce fruit. That's pretty cool. There are also people who are entirely digital, created within the Matrix, as was the case in prior films in the franchise. However, in this film, technology has been developed to manifest physical forms for these digital consciousnesses outside the Matrix. These physical forms are comprised of lots of ball bearings suspended in mid-air by some kind of electromagnetic field or something, forming the shape of a human body. So that's pretty cool as well. As well as some of these digital people, the humans also have other machine allies, and there's mention of how after the events of the third Matrix film, machines began warring with other machines for the first time, so the conflict has expanded beyond just machines against humans. That's perhaps indicative of the collapse of a binary interplay, which is such a core idea within the postmodern influences the Matrix films draw from. It's no longer humans against machines, but now just sentient beings warring with each other. The binary distinction of human and machine is melting away at this point, as is the distinction between the Matrix and the real world, as things and people generated by computer code within the Matrix begin to manifest in the real or physical world. In that specific regard, the film inches towards more accurately representing the ideas of Jean Baudrillard than did the first Matrix film, which explicitly referenced his work and was denounced by Baudrillard himself for missing the point of his work. Neo and Trinity are effectively part of a forced dyad now, like in the Star Wars sequel films. I didn't mind that, to be honest. I thought it was an okay thing to do. Trinity now has the same powers as Neo, presumably as a result of this bond, although I don't think it's ever definitively explained, but it's simple enough to infer. So, moving on to some of the more negative points. I mentioned that it's good to have Neo and Trinity back, and it is, but the way in which they're brought back is not very interesting. Neo is powered down in this film, having forgotten how to fly, or not having the requisite belief in his ability to manipulate the Matrix to his will or something. It's not really clear. I mean, it works okay, because maybe he's still subconsciously learning to trust that he really is in the Matrix again, after he's been so aggressively conditioned to think he's delusional about it before having the truth revealed again. The film pays lip service to how bad it is to make rehashes and continuations of old, completed franchises, explicitly calling out Warner Brothers for forcing the production of this film. To me, this implied that something new was going to be attempted for this instalment, but after this point is made, nothing's done with it. The film basically just goes on to rehash a lot of the first Matrix after that. There's a lot of lip service in general paid to various quite interesting notions, but none of them are really expanded on or explored narratively to any sufficient degree. Concepts are mostly just mentioned in passing without being sufficiently integrated into a dramatised structure of any kind. The film looks cheap and poorly lit a lot of the time, with hideous chroma key backgrounds not befitting of a production of this scale. This is generally always the case when the characters are shown inside the Matrix. The world outside the Matrix looks more high budget, to be honest. I wondered if this might be a deliberate choice to differentiate the two worlds, making the world of the Matrix look less appealing and more fake, and the opposite for the real world in quotes. But I don't know. It didn't come across that way, and if that was the intent, it should still look cinematic, which it doesn't. It looks like footage from a bland TV series a lot of the time. The ending is rather anticlimactic. It's essentially just a repeat of the ending to the first Matrix, apart from this time Neo and Trinity fly off to build a better world together. But still, it's pretty much just reset everything to where it was near the start of the franchise, before peace was established with the machines. I kept waiting for some new big reveal for the characters to grapple with, and there never was one. That's been so integral to all the other Matrix films, that surprise of what the big Platonic reveal about the nature of reality is, and in this film that doesn't happen. Again, it's mostly just a retread of the first Matrix film in terms of the dichotomy between the real and the simulated worlds. It doesn't have enough that's new to offer. Alas, the inescapable conclusion that's shoved in your face with every frame of this film is that the whole thing is just a cynical cash grab. The Matrix Awakens, the Unreal Engine 5 demo game, was far more interesting and thought-provoking with just the brief glimpse it provided into a prospective new Matrix adventure than this whole film was. Anyway, I think that'll do for now. Sadly, there are very few redeeming features to this lazily slapped together product. At least that's my conclusion, but what do you think? Do you agree with this assessment? Or did you like the film? Did you detect hidden virtues to it which have gone unacknowledged? Let me know in the comments below, and subscribe for more. See you next time.